सर्वसुगन्धि सुलेपितलिङ्गं बुद्धिविवर्धनकारणलिङ्गं शुद्धसुरासुरवन्दितलिङ्गम्
प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं
कनकमहामणिभूषितलिङ्गं फणिपतिवेष्टित शोभितलिङ्गं दक्षसुयज्ञविनाशनलिङ्गम्
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं
कुङ्कुं चन्दनलेपितलिङ्गं पङ्कजहार सुशोभितलिङ्गं सञ्चितपापविनाशकलिङ्गम्
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं
देवगणार्चितसेवितलिङ्गं भावैर्भक्तिभिरेव अष्टदरिद्रविनाशकलिङ्गम्
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं
सुरगुरुसुरवर पूजितलिङ्गं सुरवनपुष्प सदार्चितलिङ्गं परात्परं परमात्मकलिङ्गम्
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं
ब्रह्ममुरारिसुरार्चितलिङ्गं निर्मलभासित शोभितलिङ्गं जन्मजदुःखविनाशकलिङ्गम्
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्
Humble Sitaram, and good morning to each and every one of you. Namaste, and welcome to Radio Anand. Today I'm your host Ashwini Sarran, and joining with me is our guest as always, Miss Chandrowtie Sarran. Miss, welcome. Humble Sitaram, and namaste to each and every one of you. My name is Radio Anand. Namaste, and I do hope that you stay with us for this entire hour as we take you through some very interesting information. Ms. Sarran has a presentation at 11:25 a.m. and as such she will be taking us through some scriptures and informing us of what to expect for this day. I think today is
Shiva Chaturdasi.
Shiva Chaturdasi. I don't think it's something we really celebrate, but it is
Just observe.
But we observe it, and it's very important. So we will be learning more of that today on Radio Anand. I must say a huge thank you to our sponsors for today: Ramaran Construction Services, Sharmila and Anjali Snacket and Doubles Corner, and Mars Tent Rental. I will tell you more of these sponsors as we get into the program, but just know that you can contact Ramaran Construction Services at 692-7905 or 54777. Sharmila and Anjali Snacket and Dobbs Corner, you can contact them at 277-0656 or 674-1502, and Kumar's Tent Rental at 655-1600 or 276-0299. If you want more information on these groups, sponsors, then feel free to check out the Facebook page Meethi Masala and Radio Anand, so you can see much more of what these sponsors do, and I will let you know more of what they do as well.
देवगणार्चितसेवितलिङ्गं पद्मपत्रार्चितसेवितलिङ्गं भावैर्भक्तिभिरेव च लिङ्गं दिनकरकोटिप्रभाकरलिङ्गम्
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा.
As we have mentioned before, today we are observing Shiva Chaturdasi, and you are currently listening to
Linga
Ashtakam.
And it is given adorations to Lord Shiva in the form of offerings. Basically, it will be milk, water, cane juice, Ganga Jal, whatever the devotee has on hand. Today is the day, and this morning, we can take the name of Lord Shiva and offer that jal and chant the mantra that is being sung in the background. It's very, very spiritual, very devotional.
परमात्मकलिङ्गं
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं
ब्रह्ममुरारिसुरार्चितलिङ्गं निर्मलभासित शोभितलिङ्गं जन्मजदुःखविनाशकलिङ्गं
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं
देवमुनिप्रवरार्चितलिङ्गं कामदहन करुणाकरलिङ्गं रावणदर्पविनाशनलिङ्गं
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं
सर्वसुगन्धिसुलेपितलिङ्गं बुद्धिविवर्धनकारणलिङ्गं शुद्धसुरासुरवन्दितलिङ्गं
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं
कनकमहामणिभूषितलिङ्गं फणिपतिवेष्टित शोभितलिङ्गं दक्षसुयज्ञविनाशनलिङ्गं
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं
कुङ्कुमचन्दनलेपितलिङ्गं पङ्कजहार सुशोभितलिङ्गं सञ्चितपापविनाशकलिङ्गं
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं
देवगणार्चितसेवितलिङ्गं भावैर्भक्तिभिरेव च लिङ्गं दिनकरकोटिप्रभाकरलिङ्गं
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्
अष्टदलोपरिवेष्टितलिङ्गं सर्वसमुद्भवकारणलिङ्गम् अष्टदरिद्रविनाशकलिङ्गं
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्
परिचितलिङ्गम् परात्परं परमात्मकलिङ्गम्
तत्प्रणमामि सदा
To all those of you who are joining, especially from Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Barbados, a humble namaste, sitaram to you. Thank you for tuning in. I see this morning we have with us the Vice Chairman of the West Amara Naujawan, Chandrowtie Harprasad. Ram Ram, and welcome. One of the events the West Amara Naujawan will be having on Friday is a suicide prevention activity. Suicide Prevention Day is the 10th of September annually, and on this particular day, the West Amara Naujawan usually holds an activity where we sit and we talk about life, because Hinduism, all religions do promote life. And we have scriptures also that support that no matter what you go through, God will manifest himself no matter whatever seems to be happening unrighteously around you. At the end of the program, we usually give that chapter from the Bhagavad Gita, Yada Yada. We will be saying it today, of course. But do know that on Friday, when we'll be having that activity, it's one where we get persons to talk about life. Understand that life is beautiful, it's important, there are many ups and downs, but it's nothing that you can't overcome. So, Ms. Sarran, do you have anything to tell us on Suicide Prevention Day?
Not really much, but
Or about life?
mostly about life, and today, the kind of mood that we would try to place you in, so that if you're experiencing any problem and it's overwhelming, then maybe if you can, try something different later on in the program. I do hope you stay on and you listen to some ideas that we will pitch to you, and if you are from our scriptures. So, stay tuned.
And not just the West Amara Naujawan, but the Naujawans across the country under the Guyana Hindu Dharmic Sabha, they do hold annual activities where we light a candle and we talk about life. It's not the only time we do this, but it's one of the observation that we follow on a yearly basis.
And it's very good that young people are taking up the mantle to create the awareness, because we see suicide, it's happening in all age group. And the young people, as much as you're coming out to light the candle, sometimes those youngsters who are there holding that candle, maybe some of them would carry that scar of losing a loved one or maybe a friend. And you're making that silent pledge that I do hope by creating this awareness, which is on Friday, that I do not face that cruelty of losing a loved one.
Actually, what you're saying is very much true, because as I've been doing this yearly, I do find persons getting the courage to actually speak about things which they have been hiding and things which they have been going through. But as a group together, when we sit and discuss, we realize that, hey, all of us have issues. Not that we come out in public and say it, but what happens is that awareness is created, that together and with unity, with religious activities, as the West Amara Naujawan, we believe that we can constructively occupy our time and don't really take action as to what we're thinking about in terms of harming ourselves. I do have many instances where persons actually say what I would call it traumatic experiences they had when they were on the verge of actually going through with suicide. It is said not to say commit suicide, because commit means that it's a crime, but it's not really a crime. You can be charged here in Guyana.
Well, one of the first thing for our viewers and listeners to understand is to actually reach to that point where you want to take your life. It means that you have been bottling up all these emotions, all these conversations which you've been having with yourself within. And some person will say, but I saw him last week or her and she looked so good, and she spoke well and she was smiling and laughing. I never thought that she was having any problem or he was having any problem. And those are the persons who are perfect friend you may have, or a relative that they're not sharing, but they just decide it is too much, I can't handle it, and therefore I'm going to take this upon myself and I'm going to find the only way out. So please understand, it is not the only way out. There are several options out there.
And with that being said, when persons think of going through with suicide, it's not something where they just want to die, but they just want to get out of that phase in their life. They don't want to live that part of their life. So just understand that there will be a time where you will overcome it, but you just have to stay strong and be there. I would advise to be around persons who are positively inclined and who would not bring down your self-esteem. You should really choose the persons who you surround yourself with. Chandrowtie, he said suicide tends to stem from a plethora of issues, and I think one of the contributing factor here is social discrimination.
Oh.
Yes, he's very much vocal. I love him for that. To those of you who are not aware, I have read this comment from Chandrowtie on Facebook Live. You can join us on Miti Masala and Radio Anand to check out our Facebook Live. If you are driving or you're on your way to some event or you're at home and you're just listening to us while you're preparing your lunch, I do hope that you enjoy the music and that you understand that life is beautiful, it's very precious, and it's worth living. Whatever you're going through right now, it will come to an end. I promise. There will be good times, but you have to have the courage. I truly believe you need to have faith in God. However, if you're an atheist, that's quite fine as well. But when you have faith in something, it gives you an extra energy from a superior being that you can't see. But it gives you faith that, yes, somebody's overlooking and I will feel better.
And help is out there.
And help is always out there. On the Facebook page, Miti Masala and Radio Anand, I placed a flyer there which has numbers for persons who would like to contact professionals to get some help. So you can check out our page, get those numbers, and feel free to share it. You might be saving a life. Chandrowtie continues to say, one of the contributing factors is social discrimination or fear of human behavior. Human behavior teaches us that nothing is permanent. We have the power to change our perspective, indeed. That's something which we all have the power to do. You have the power to think. It's not as easy as it may seem, but you have the power to think today's going to be a good day. Today's going to be a bad day. That person hates me, so I hate me. You have the power to eradicate and also commend your own self. Miss Sarran knows I'm pretty much, when it comes to myself, I commend my own self on many occasions. I don't wait for a person to do it because, it's me who will make me feel better. I have to put myself in such a position where I don't do things which I regret. And as such, I will always think of myself as someone who is doing the best at every possible stage of my life. Do remember to join the Guyana Hindu Dharmic Sabha's Facebook page as well as its Nai Zamana page and join in all of its activities and upcoming events. We have some planned, which we will definitely roll out to you as the days come. To Molly and Gito, Sitaram, to you, I'm happy you have joined the live from Saraswat School. The teachers are really nice. Thank you for tuning in with me. For those of you who are listening to the radio and you would like to send a comment, you can send a comment to 616-6183. You can WhatsApp me and I will be very honored to say what you would have to say to me or the program. 616-6183 is also the number you can use if you would like to advertise your products or services.
I just want to mention that if we have reached you in some way in terms of you contemplating suicide, you can leave a text and you can be assured that your text and your information will remain confidential and we will get help to you.
Indeed, I have to my access some of those numbers, like I said. If necessary, if it's really necessary, you don't feel as if anybody's listening to you, there are people out there who would want to listen to you. So I can get those numbers to you and we can together work things out. To Shabana, I think it's Amelia who's here with us, or is it Auntie Bani? Sister Bani, Ram to you. Thank you for tuning in so much. Shanisa, good morning to you. Nirmala, Sadhna, I'm happy that you have tuned in with us. Do remember in the next 4 minutes, we will have Miss Sarran doing that presentation for us. In the meantime, enjoy this Linga Ashtakam. Today is an auspicious day. It's the day we observe Shiva Chaturdasi. And as such, I would like to put you in that spiritual mood so that you can have a very productive, divine, and upbeat week at the same time. So do enjoy this.
कनकमहामणिभूषितलिङ्गं फणिपतिवेष्टितशोभितलिङ्गं दक्षसुयज्ञविनाशनलिङ्गम्
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं
कुङ्कुं चन्दनलेपितलिङ्गं पङ्कजहार सुशोभितलिङ्गं सञ्चितपापविनाशकलिङ्गम्
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं
देवगणार्चितसेवितलिङ्गं भावैर्भक्तिभिरेव च लिङ्गं दिनकरकोटिप्रभाकरलिङ्गम्
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्
अष्टदलोपरिवेष्टितलिङ्गं सर्वसमुद्भवकारणलिङ्गम् अष्टदरिद्रविनाशकलिङ्गम्
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्
सुरगुरुसुरवर पूजितलिङ्गं सुरवनपुष्प सदार्चितलिङ्गं परात्परं परमात्मकलिङ्गम्
तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्
I'd like to say Sitaram to Radhika, she sent me a message on WhatsApp. I'm happy you're tuned in with us. I would like to know where you're from, though. So do let me know that. Also to Nakshatra, who has joined us here this morning. I hope that you are thoroughly enjoying the program and it is really putting you in a very spiritual mode. That's the whole idea, so that you can have some peaceful moments, quiet moments, and, have a really good day. So Auntie Radhika is from Crane. Oh, Auntie Radhika.
Yes.
Oh, this is from here.
A very good singer.
An excellent singer. Auntie Radhika is one of those persons when she sings this Pagwa song.
Yeah.
Gore Gore.
Guru Guru Tanwa.
Tanawa.
Yes,
Oh,
she
Lord.
lights up the whole environment.
Indeed, when she sings, you just want to get up and dance. Auntie Radhika, thank you so much for tuning in with us. Kavita, Barbados, my aunt, I'm happy you're enjoying the program and that you would stay with us through this entire program. You're thinking of Panajuripu Daman Prasad. He used to sing this. Yes, he does.
Yes, he did.
Yes, indeed. I must say to our sponsors right now, Ramaran Construction Services, they do a lot of services. They are located at 576 Zilot, East Bank, Essequibo. They specialize in building construction of roads, plumbing, welding, construction of heavy-duty bridges. They also do weeding, landscaping, and cleaning to city fence and government compounds. They also do maintenance of buildings such as pressure washing and much more. And they also transport furniture and large items for you. They also do building of roads, construction of roads. They are what you would say reliable, authentic, munificent. They're really the best at what they do. They're very attentive, they're very refreshing, they're very much right for you because they're affordable and noteworthy, very outstanding, very remarkable. My adjectives keep going on because they're really good at what they do, and that's Ramaran for you. 692-7905 or 501-4777. That's 692-7905 or 501-4777. That's 501-4777. You can also contact them on Facebook at Ramaran Construction Services or email them at ramaranconstructionservices@yahoo.com. Check them out on Facebook so you'll be able to see much more of what they do. Also to Sharmila and Anjali, Snacket and Dobbs Corner. They're located at Harkisun Dubalam Public Road, and they also have a taxi and bus service, very reliable. I'll really encourage you to go ahead with that service. You can contact them at 2760656. My apologies, 2770656, or WhatsApp them at 6741502. You can order every day. The thing about ordering is that persons have told me when they order, they expect it to get right away. However, the good thing with Sharmila and Anjali's Snack It and Dobbs Corner is that you get it hot. So if you would like lunch, I will advise you to order before lunchtime. Don't call at 12 to get lunch at 12. They don't get leftover food. You get hot, fresh food, finger licking, scrumptious, really good food. So order before the time, okay? My advice to you, it will be worth it. Check them out on Facebook for free delivery around Duwalam, Zeeburg, and Metumere Zork, Sharmila, and Anjali's Snack It Corner. You can also check them out on Facebook. That's the name, Sharmila and Anjali's Snack It Corner. And remember, they have authentic Guyanese food. They also have some not so Guyanese food, which really tastes good. They respond to their customers very quickly. They're very friendly, very genuine staff. They're very clean, something which is important. And the food is always mouth-watering, finger-licking, and tasty, so full of flavors. And one of the Trinidadian actually told me that when he had the doubles, it made him remember Trinidad and Tobago. Now, that's a really big compliment. So don't miss out. Remember, if you would like to have lunch, breakfast, or whatever meal you would like to prepare for, you have to order before the time and not on the time itself that you would want the food. Also to Kumar's Tent Rental. At Kumar's Tent Rental, they take pride in their job. They provide awesome customer satisfaction. They're very clean. And the tent and chairs that they provide to you, those are very clean every single time. And they also have chairs and tables for your events. So whatever it may be, tent rental for wedding planning, a corporate event, outdoor planning, some sort of meeting, a sports, any sort of event you have, they have tents, tables, and chairs for you at very much affordable prices. You can contact them at 655-1600 or 276-0299. That's 655-1600 or 276-0299. If you would like more information on these sponsors and what they do, where you can contact them, do check out the Facebook page at Miti Misala and Radio Anand, so you can get those numbers there at your service. At this point in time, I will ask Miss Sarran to enlighten us with what you have prepared for today. Over to you, Miss Sarran.
प्यारे भाइयों और बहनों, बच्चों, सबको प्रणाम। जहाँ जो भी हो, हम रेडियो आनंद कार्यक्रम को स्वागत करती हैं। Wherever you are, we welcome you to this program, Radio Anand. From the beginning of this program, सुबह सुबह शिवा का नाम लेकर बहुत आवश्यक है, क्योंकि आज शिव चतुर्दशी है, दशी है। Wherever you are, and if you're listening to us, know that it is necessary that you chant the name of Shiva throughout the morning and throughout the day if possible, because today is Shiva Chaturdasi. Now, the mantra you heard from the beginning, it's one that you will really hear throughout the day of Mahashivratri. And it is not the only day to pray to Lord Shiva on Mahashivratri. There are other days in the year and in all the months. And today is one such day, Shiva Chaturdashi. And I thought of talking about a few words associated with prayers. First of all, mantra. When we hear a mantra, we tend to think, okay, that's a prayer. We hear a stuti, we say that's a prayer. We hear shloka, we say that's a prayer. We hear ashtakam, that's a prayer. And, you know, all of these are prayers, yes, but in different dimension and in different meter and how they should be chanted. So a mantra is when the guru or a rishi or a muni would come up with these prayers of adoration to a deity. And in this case, we have several mantras that we are familiar with, and one of them is Om Namah Shivaya. And it is called the Panch Akshar Mantra. Well, Panch Akshari, because Akshar means letter and Akshari means letters. So Panch means 5. So Nama Shivaya. And in the Panch Akshar Mantra, each verse is dedicated to one of the syllables, like the first verse, Nagintharaya to Na, then Mandakini Ma, and so on. And the devotee, these are Sanskrit verses, may not always be able to chant, because of when we chant, we want to chant correctly, because we want to say the right thing, because we are invoking the presence of Bhagwan Shiva. But ordinary as we are, and we pray like everybody else, sometimes we may not get those words right. So what happens? If it was not chanted correctly, well, simple. Go for the simple mantra, Om Namah Shivaya. And persons will sit and maybe do it 108 times. They use their mala, the bead, and they will chant Om Namah Shivaya. Now, today, while we're trying to get you to that mood of prayer, I know we have something more happening in our country and maybe in some Caribbean countries, where school is going to open tomorrow. And in the hustle and bustle and getting up, your children or parents want to be ready for tomorrow. And we will not go into where you're going to be tomorrow, if you're going to be in school or if you're going to be at home and online. In school, we have a little something for you, because we have the Shiva Chalisa, we have the Saraswati Chalisa, most appropriate for learning. But back to Shiva Chaturdasi. Now there is this great sage, Adi Shankaracharya. He wrote a number of these Sanskrit verses, Mahishasur Mardini Stotra to Mother Durga, and he described the beauty of her, and it's 20 verses long. Then we have the Nirvan Shatkam, which is about liberation, written by Adi Shankaracharya. And yes, listen to this one now. We have a shloka which is composed by Ravan, and it is called the Shiva Tandava Stotra. Now this is very interesting, because who will want to chant that shloka, the stotra, because it was the evil King Ravan from Lanka who chanted that. But we see that even in our own lives, while we may want to criticize and say, oh, that's a bad person, there was some good in that person. And so Ravan was a very devoted, he was a bhakt of Lord Shiva. So I thought that this morning, while we may be fortunate to remember that it is Shiva Chaturdasi, that we pray, we contemplate, and we think of the best way possible we can pass this day, while we may be busy with our chores at home, looking after children and getting ready for tomorrow. When we do puja, there is a 16-step procedure, and according to the Skanda Puran, it talks about dhyana, asana, padya, ardhya, achmana, snana, vastra, upavit, bhushana, gandha, pushpa, dhupa, deepa, naivedya, pradakshana, namaskar. We just finished a whole puja there, because these are steps that you will take. Now I know today you're not doing puja, but I'm going into a sequence here where, okay, you might not be able to do puja today, but there is also, instead of doing that 16 step, then you can go into a few less step. Gandhaha, pushpaha cha, dhupam cha, deepanam, nivedanam, tambulam cha, namaskaram, pradakshanam, apane. And this is 8. So instead of doing that whole puja, you can go into 8, where it's just that go in, you do offer your prayer, you do your arti, put a little attar, put a flower, and you pray. Now, if that is too time consuming also, then there's another way. Just chant Om Namah Shivaya. But hold on, you're not going to get off so easy. Now, in chanting Om Namah Shivaya, there's a prescription how you do it. And in the home on a Sunday, it might be very difficult because you want quiet and peace to do this. Sit, and close your eyes and offer this formula, this mantra. So I was thinking of another way, and this is how it goes. So let us say you're in a room, whether you're in a meeting or whether you're sitting with some friends or relatives, of course, social distancing. And sometimes when you're in that in a gathering, even now in this pandemic, sometimes you're not required to speak. You're just required to sit, and maybe you even have to listen because everybody doing their own thing. That is the moment you should steal. That is the moment you quickly steal and you say Om Namah Shivaya. Oh Lord, I thank you for everything that you have given to me in my life, wherever you are in life. And that's a prayer. And you may have left home and have that guilt. Oh my, I did not get to go to the altar. I did not get to offer the jal. I did not get to offer the flower. That's okay. That's okay. Throughout the day, as soon as you can see that slack time where you have that split second or that split minute, you just capture it and quickly offer your prayer. And that is how flexible Hinduism is. We can go as elaborate as we want, do that puja. We can tone down and we can choose our time. And our time can range from a second to a minute. And we pray to God. And yes, He listens. And the joy you will feel, because if it was on your to-do list, okay, I have to pray this one, I have to make sure I pray, then you would have accomplished it. We are not as fortunate as those rishis and munis who sat, chanted, and remained seated like that for a number of years. And it led to great penance. We're just ordinary human beings trying to get through one day at a time. So this morning I thought, as much as I would like for all of us Hindus to observe this day, what is happening in the home. Oh my, these parents who are getting ready for school online. So I think it should be the same preparation. And I think that also the clothing that you will wear as you go online, whether you choose to wear your school uniform, which will be really cool, or if you have one particular clothing that you wear every day, make it your uniform, decent clothing. Then parents, we did this at the camp last month. The first chaupai in Sri Ram Charitmanas, Bandau Guru Pajama Paraga, Suruchi Sabha Sarasa Anuraga, Amiya Murimai Churana Charu, Samana Sakala Bhava, Ruja Parivaru. What is all this about? It's about you, the parents, teaching your children to be respectful to their teachers and to speak to them very politely, not rudely, and to give that respect in a manner that they use some magic words that you would have taught them at home. They're very magical, and these words are Kripya, please, Dhanyavad, thank you, Swagat, welcome. Simple words, and these are the words that can get your children through the day. And as much as we look at teachers and we expect that, okay, they are going to deliver, they have to teach, they have to perform, I agree. But remember, the teachers are human just like you and I, and they're not robotic. And therefore, a kind word, courtesy, kindness should be extended to the teachers too. And so you, the parents, you have that responsibility to teach them When they come online, good morning, miss, and how are you today? Not too much chit chat for too long, but courtesy. And then you start your lesson. So I am really excited to know what tomorrow will look like. Of course, we may have one or two areas of difficulties where sometimes the internet may not work to your best advantage and you may get knocked off, but that's okay, you'll come on back. But tomorrow, prepare for an exciting day wherever you are, wherever you're going to be tuned in. And today is the day to make that mental preparation by praying to Lord Shiva. Make that declaration that, oh Lord, today I want to be calm, I want to be prepared, I want to be composed. So now I'm speaking directly to boys and girls. If you're fortunate to have children listening, because this is a religious program, but I do hope you, the parents, are encouraging them. So here we go. So I want to guess by now there is a specific purpose and a purpose and a place in the home where you would have already cleaned out, your desk is polished or your table or whatever, and you're going to be prepared. You're going to have your books, you're going to have your pencil sharpened, you're going to have your ruler, your pen, your geometry set, and yes, a little snack and maybe a little water. And you're going to be so prepared, and you bathe and brush your teeth, get dressed and be prepared, and go online before to welcome your teacher. And create that excitement within you, just like if you were going to school. And the only reason you will be online is because all of us want you to be safe. Maybe some of you are going out to school. Well, yes. Then you have to be equally responsible and prepared, just like those who are preparing at home. The only difference is that you are taking your bags and you're packing everything and you're taking it with you. And you want to, of course, take your mask and your sanitizer, and you're going to arm yourself. Now, I want to congratulate children. Parents, I have not forgotten you. You know what I want to congratulate them for? Because I know that when they go back to the school in person, I know they are very, very alert and they are very conscious of this pandemic. And yes, a few times, your mask may slip from your nose and go down to your mouth, and your friend will say, hey, put on back your mask quickly. I can see children being very responsible because they love to help each other. And this is what's going to take us through this pandemic. As you return to your classroom in person, and maybe those of you, who have to go to class in person, and those who are online, even you. You could be at home and maybe your mom call and say, okay, someone is going to drop something off at lunchtime, and you go and you did not go with your mask on. You could get COVID. So you also have to be prepared and you have to protect yourself. So today is exciting. It's adoration to Lord Shiva. And we want to place you in that mood so that tomorrow, when you're going to be prepared and you're going to go out there to school in person, and for those of you who are online, then you pray to Mother Saraswati and you ask that, oh Mother, that you give me divine knowledge, you give me protection and protect my friends, and let all of us overcome this pandemic. So this morning, I want to say to you that look for the stolen moments. If you're out there and you have to be in at work or even at school, look for the stolen moments, the 1 second, the 1 minute when you're alone, you are alone, seated, and maybe you're with them in the room. Find that stolen moment and speak to God, because He's listening. And this morning in your heart, if you were unable to do the things you wanted, to put your flower, to offer your jal, then speak to Lord Shiva in the mind, and He is going to listen and He's going to accept your prayer. So with that, I say be humble, be simple, be thankful, feel the inner peace within you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sarran, for those words of wisdom and the advice that you gave us. Sadhna, agree that it's really good advice. And Kumar Kisul, one of the powerhouses for the Naujawan groups, for all the Naujawan groups across the country, always someone you can turn to. He's also saying it's very informative. Also with us today is Tushinaifat NDC. They said Ram Ram.
Oh, Ram Ram.
Yes.
And Ram Ram to you, Kumar. Oh, I'm so happy you're listening. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
he is. Also, Stephanie Sarju joined us just now. I'm not sure she listened for the entire thing, but she said Sitaram to you too. Miss Mohini Sarran said, very nice program. So I'm glad persons are enjoying and that they would actually heed the advice. If I may add to the presentation, you said to pray to God is very simple in Hinduism.
Very simple.
Very simple. And I
Very
think there...
And also elaborate. It depends on the
It
choice
depends
of
on
the
your
devotee.
choice.
Yes.
And there is a verse in the Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Palam
Param
Toyam
tuyam yumi
Bhaktya
bhaktya
Prayachate.
Yeah, patram is a leaf.
Mhm.
Patram pushpam, flower. Toyam, water. Patram pushpam, phalam, fruit or water. So you can offer a leaf, a fruit, a flower, water. Lord Krishna said anything. If you can offer all or even one, I accept wholeheartedly.
And I do agree when you go elaborate, you could cook some sun curry and stuff and call your friends. Nobody would refuse that. But when you go elaborate, there's much more time you put into it. I'm not sure if that's something I should
Yeah,
say.
you treat it like a yajna, you fast.
And be very
like-
proud.
Yeah,
of
and
take
21
pride in
days,
it.
3 months, the Hindus fast and they're so excited because
Mhm.
puja is going to happen in the home and all the family members are mentally prepared. And there's excitement because, pre-COVID, you invite all your friends because, it's really giving back to God and giving back by doing, it's a kind of Thanksgiving.
And besides that, I also think one of the reasons why we can go elaborate is that it really occupies your time constructively. So when, like you said, being mentally prepared, you're doing things for this, and you're so focused that there should not be no time to think about gossiping and greed and jealousy, and it should not happen because
Actually, to be elaborate in puja, it's really, really a wonderful experience to have as a family because family members know, okay, no quarrel. Just imagine that. If you have to fast for 3 months for a puja and you cannot quarrel and you cannot vex with each other and you just have to, every day cleaning some part of the home to just for this puja that you have to do the preparation because who you're doing this puja for you're doing this puja for the Lord but more for yourself. And this is what brings the family together because you may have some family members escaping from the chores, but you have to be smart as a parent how to get them into it. But the togetherness in preparing for puja, it's wonderful. And in Hinduism, this is one of the hallmark of the Hindu family, where all the family members in some aspect they are involved. Whether you might be the one that will say, okay, I will go and get a bamboo, or you will say, okay, I will prepare the sarjam. There is something for every family member. And by extension, when the other family members come, well, there is no holding back. There is laughter in the air, preparation for puja, and it's so wonderful.
And also, if you're fortunate to have Nani with you, our grandma, and the house is being pulled down every single Friday, then when you have that elaborate puja, it's not going to be that much work. So, Nani, if you're listening, we miss you, and I hope that you're enjoying every moment. Also, you mentioned about school reopening. Indeed, that was really good advice as a school teacher. It's something I think parents need to be teaching their children how they not only talk to teachers, but how they talk to each other. It's very important because you see students nowadays, not only students, but I don't know, it's a common thing now, the way persons speak to each other, it's normal, but it should not be normal. The way you speak to persons should be somewhat respectful. Yes, I do understand they're your people, but there should be some sort of respect among each other, and especially teachers and,
What the pandemic has brought out for parents and teachers is that they have to communicate more often. Some parents, they have to, if they didn't use so, this is a time because of the interest for your child. And parents, when you communicate with a teacher, your child may be angry, and he may tell you a whole story, and you take that story and you go and you vent on the teacher. That's not the way to go. You listen to your child, you absorb, and you say, okay, I'm going to deal with this. You call the teacher and you speak respectfully and say, Miss or Sir, this is what I have been told. Can you assist me and say how we go forward from here? And it's that simple, It is that simple. As much as you want the teacher to make the day for your child, come on, can't you make a day for the teacher?
And when you talk about communication, it's not only communication alone, it's also comprehending. Because I could tell you something, but if you're not on the same page and we don't understand what each other is
Back
saying,
and forth,
back and forth, yeah, you just keep going in circles. So comprehension is also an important factor. And with that being said, parents, students, teachers, if you're listening, just remember from tomorrow, it's not teachers against students. It's not teachers against superiors, the higher body ministry, whatever. It's nobody against anyone. We're all in this together, and we need to effectively communicate with each other. So when you are communicating, do so very respectively. When you are forming your messages, think about how it would sound, as if you know how you would speak, but put some extra thought into what you're saying, because from tomorrow, I'm sure it's going to be a bit tough, given that it's online for secondary students, but it's nothing that they haven't experienced. So just be prepared for the coming days and know that it will be worth it because you're learning.
Yeah, and parents, as much as the children are engaging online, let them show you, how to navigate. Because you have some very, very smart children out there. They split the screen in two, and on one side, teacher is there, on the other side, teacher is there speaking, and on the other side, they're looking at cartoons. Oh my.
Tom and Jerry.
That's hilarious. So, learn, parents. Let them teach you. Okay, this is how we get on. And children, it's a matter of trust too. Your parents should trust you that, okay, you're actually listening on, and the time span after half hour, you don't really want to hear anymore, but this is for your own good.
And the persons who have the ability to split that screen and do that, sorry to say, I do applaud you. I think you're going into a field of, multitasking, but if you're going to do so, you still have to pay a lot more attention to the schoolwork. And honestly, let's be honest here. If you're going to split the screen and cartoon is there, there's no way you're listening to the teacher.
That's right.
Cartoons is like Tom. I still look at Tom and Jerry now. I would still get up on a Saturday morning and look at Shrek cartoons. Mm-hmm. So yes, communicate effectively. Understand that education is important. It's what we should put first. We pray to Saraswati Mata to get that courage to go ahead and learn. By the way, when we say that we pray to Mother Saraswati, it does not mean that she's going to come down and change your test scores. It means that you're getting the courage to actually process
what is being taught, because learning is divine. Learning should not be, with fear, or it should be with you don't want to do it. It should be you're receiving it as divine knowledge. Where I'm talking about academic here, right? It should be divine. That is why if you maintain that correct tone, the students, and you have that communication with the teacher, you absorb more.
And I think that's why for Hinduism, we respect books so much.
That's right. Our scriptures, the text, and that's why Tulsidas Maharaj, that first chaupai, Bandha Gurupal, right? They bow to the lotus-like feet. I'm not saying to go bow to your teacher feet. Hold up. But scripturally, from the Ramayana, it means that spiritual guru. But it also applies to the teacher. That we're not saying to go bow, we say give respect.
At this point in time, I'm sure you have a lot of information to process, so please do so. Feel free to listen back to the live. Share the live as much as you can. It's really good information we're putting out there. We are promoting loving life, paying attention, education is first, and so much more. To our sponsors for today, Ramaran Construction Services. They are located at 576 Zilot East Bank, Essequibo, and you can contact them at 692-7905 or 501-4777. That's 692-7905 or 501-4777. Also, you can check them out on Facebook at Ramaran Construction Services. Ramaran is R-A-M-B-A-R-R-A-N. Ramaran Construction Services in the English language. And they do a lot of things. Get into contact with them. Building construction, construction of roads, plumbing, welding, pressure washing, weeding. It's so much more. So do check them out on Facebook. My Facebook page, Miji Masala and Radio Anand, will also have the information that I'm giving you right now. Also to Sharmila and Anjali Snack It and Doubles Corner, located at Harkisoon Public Road. They also have a taxi and bus service, very reliable. You can contact them at 277-0656 or WhatsApp them at 674-1502. That's 277-0656 or 674-1502. To remember that you can order first, then wait for the food because it will be hot, freshly cooked. Also to Kumar's Tent Rental. They really take pride in their job. They provide awesome customer satisfaction. They provide for you clean tents, chairs, and tables for all your events, whether it be weddings, sports, birthdays, whatever it may be. You can contact them at 655-1600 or 276-0299. That's 655-1600 or 276-0299. To remember that you can check out the Facebook page, and if you would like to sponsor or advertise your programs, your products or services on this program, you can message 616-6183. This is where we have to take our leave. And as always, I leave you with Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glanir Bhavati Bharata Abhyutanam Adharmasya Tadatmanam Srijamyaham. Chapter 4, verse 7, where Shri Krishna says, wherever righteousness is on a decline, unrighteousness is in the ascendant, I body myself forth. Do enjoy the rest of the day and take care.
धन में ज्वाला चरे सुरासुर भये विहाला कीन्ह दया तह करी सहाय नीलकंठ तब नाम कहाय